Hey, it's Meatball.
And Mark.
And this is the Rocker Morning Show on demand from 107.7 RKR. 107.7 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Happy day after Labor Day.
I know, right? Yeah. Happy day after Labor Day. It's always kind of throwing me off a little bit.
These kind of weeks always kind of like jack everything up. But at the same, because I mean, I came in and was like, oh, it's Monday. But wait, I'm well rested.
Yeah.
I got extra sleep. What happened
This
here?
doesing make sense.
Yeah, I feel fine.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, right. It's only going to be a couple of days. Happy. I hope you had a good Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, it was super chill. Went to the east side of the state, went to the Renaissance Festival, which was cool. So, yeah, it was a fun time.
That's not the first time you've been to a Ren Fair.
No, but it's been years, like over 20 years since I've been.
What is different now at the Ren Fair than it was 20 years ago?
Just the characters. I think the characters are different. The costumes are actually a lot different as well.
Okay. Do you see a lot of like when you say characters, like pop culture type stuff, or like what are we talking here?
Yeah, but like it was Viking invasion weekend, so there's a bunch of people dressed up like Vikings. There's also someone who came in dressed up in a giant inflatable dinosaur costume. So you're seeing like all these scantily clad like Viking women walking in, and then a girl walking in with a blow up dino, and I'm like, there are two kinds of women at the Ren Fair.
I'm not gonna lie, the inflatable dino woman is probably more my style.
Yes.
That's more my thing. What does a dinosaur have to do with Renaissance, I guess? Like
I don't
time
know
traveling?
necessarily. Yeah, I have no idea. It was fun though. They're just living their best life. I don't think it really matters at this point.
You just wear a costume of some kind?
Yeah, I think it's just a chance for you to just show up cosplaying and you're good.
I mean, anymore you can just be like, oh, I'm part of the MCU multiverse, or dinosaurs were still around during the Renaissance.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, this is pretty funny.
I sent you a video. I was hoping you had seen them. There was a Bard band, and I thought it was at this year's Ren Fair over there. Bard band that was playing Iron Maiden.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything like that, but it was really cool. Some of the shops are just amazing.
Now, did you get like a bunch of? I mean, obviously they make like swords and leather type stuff. Right?
Yep.
Did you get anything?
No, I didn't really get anything. I did get one thing.
Please tell me you bought like a sword or something.
No, I didn't buy a sword. I'll bring it in tomorrow though.
Okay.
It is actually pretty funny. So. It's a great way to mess with people.
Oh, okay.
It's a great way to mess with people. We'll put it that way.
So it's something we should have in the office.
Yes, I'm going to bring it in and keep it here.
Would it accompany the fart gun well? Is that?
Yes.
Okay, this is
not,
like... Yeah.
Yes, not like... it's more trolling people than...
Awesome.
So, yeah, it's pretty great.
Nice. Well, good. Did you get your mom convinced to wear the Viking stuff to the Viking Day?
No, because she didn't go. But I think we might go at the last weekend. I think we might go back the last weekend.
Very cool.
So I'll see if she'll rep that.
Well, sounds like you had a good time, man.
Yeah, it was a blast.
So very cool.
Because we got a busy week ahead of us.
We do. We have a lot coming up. We'll talk more on that as the week goes on. My Labor Day weekend was pretty chill. I stayed home. I did a lot of cleaning that I've been putting off for a long time because, the ADHD thing gets in the way. And I'm just like, this will take me 5 minutes to do it. But I'm comfortable on the couch right now. and I've got an entire TV show to binge.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got that going on. I did Labor Day yesterday. Might have been the most unproductive and strange day of my living in Michigan. Literally sat on the couch, doom scrolling through TikTok, and I find a guy playing a video game, and I'm like, well, this looks fun. And watched him play this video game for like 5 hours.
Instead of me playing
the video game. The game is called Squirrel with a Gun. It is literally a squirrel with a gun.
I think I've seen this.
The squirrel, like I saw I think it's been in development for a while now. And for whatever reason, it's gotten real popular because I think it just came out on Steam. But it is literally a squirrel in like a lab that beats up a secret agent, steals his gun, and then gets out. And the whole game is literally you, a squirrel, with a gun.
That's ridiculous.
Remember when video games had like integrity and you were just a plumber jumping on eating mushrooms and stuff? Like,
yes.
Actually, I think plumbers eating mushrooms is what led to Squirrel with a Gun.
Yeah.
107.7 RKR. It is the Rock Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Before we get to our story for this break, Mark, you got some news about something going on in downtown, right?
Yeah, there's a fire that was going on about 45 minutes ago. As a half hour ago, the Kalamazoo Public Safety updated, said the fire is under control and it is not Hopcat. It is around the area. No injuries to report. Said the scene of the commercial structure fire in the 300 block of East Water Street. They're asking people seek alternative routes until further notice.
Man, another fire in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't know I don't know if they're connected. I don't know what's going on.
I think there's an arsonist.
I mean, there's been so many fires lately. It's been crazy. So, all right, yeah, avoid that part of downtown while the emergency crews can get their work done. And, man, again, glad to hear everybody's, involved is okay. There's nobody really hurt or anything like that. But, man, something scary this morning. All right. Well, speaking of scary, do you remember the horror TV shows like when we were kids? Tales from the Crypt. That was maybe a little more adult.
Are You Afraid of the Dark was mine.
Right. Did you watch Goosebumps at all when that was out? Do you remember a show called Eerie, Indiana?
The name sounds familiar, but I don't remember watching it.
It would have been on NBC, so it wasn't on, I think most of the other ones were on like Nickelodeon cable channels, but Eerie, Indiana was on NBC. And I didn't obviously live up here when I was growing up, so I thought Eerie, Indiana was a real place.
Okay.
Basically, this is kind of in the vein of like Goosebumps, where like every episode had its own kind of story, but there was some connectivity there. The lead is Omri Katz, who plays Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
He's the lead for this whole thing. And the premise of the whole show is he and his family moved from the hustle and bustle of New Jersey, where there was so much crime and all this stuff, to Eerie, Indiana, which is, this nothing happens here kind of Midwest town, where they could grow up and be a normal family in a normal town, except it's named Eerie, Indiana. And like one of his neighbors, he's pretty sure is Elvis in disguise. And Bigfoot goes through his trash in the night and stuff like that. It's like, there's just something really off about this town. This show made me think that Eerie, Indiana was real, and I wanted to move there when I was a kid, man. It was great. But like every episode, it starts with this kid, with Omri Katz's character, talking about whatever his horror experience was for that particular episode or week or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he has this eerie museum of weird that he has in this like lockable desk in the attic of his house that has little trinkets and memories of all the weird things that he's done and seen in Eerie, Indiana. One of them was a kid's retainer that could pick up the signals of dogs. So like he could understand dogs.
Awesome.
One of them was like this Tupperware thing that could like seal something in from the 1970s and it would still be fresh.
Yeah.
So like it's all this weird stuff. There's a dummy episode, which I will not watch. Not going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Not going to happen.
I know about that.
But yeah, like this show was, I remember it. Like I remember of it. I remember the dog episode especially. I remember a couple other episodes too when I was a kid. But nobody seems to remember this show from when they were younger. I'm curious if anybody does remember. Like, call me. I want to make sure that I'm not crazy. That like this was actually a popular show.
Like you're experiencing the Mandela effect right
kind
now?
of, but I know it's real because like the trailer, the stuff on YouTube exists. Like I've been watching the episodes at home because they're kind of fun actually. The guy who did Gremlins, not the director, but like some of the crew that did the movie Gremlins in the 80s were a part of this show too.
That's cool.
So it's kind of got that kind of like campy horror vibe to it, know? And there's a ton of cameos. The guy who played Gomez in the original Addams Family TV series is a recurring character. Early appearance from Tobey Maguire as a child. And then, the guy that plays Thackeray Binks is the main character.
That's pretty sweet. I got to check the show out now.
It's a ton of fun. So I again, like when I was a kid, man, I watched this show and I remembered it after somebody pointed it out to me. I was like, God, man, this show was so cool as a kid. And this was before Are You Afraid of the Dark and before Goosebumps.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. And at the very least, it made Indiana seem interesting. Because
they could use some help.
Yeah, I mean, I was bummed to find out that Eerie, Indiana doesn't exist. But at least there's still Christmas, Indiana, right?
I got some bad news for you.
No! Hello, Rocker Morning Show.
Hey, man, this is Fly Levi, and I used to watch Eerie, Indiana.
You remember it?
It was on.
It was
great. It was only on. Yes, it was great, and I loved the opening scenes because Elvis going to get his newspaper. That's what I remember vividly. Coming out.
Elvis going to get his newspaper, Sasquatch digging through the trash.
That's right. That's right. And I remember the Tupperware episode with the mattresses that were Tupperware and the kids. They were twins. Weird-looking twins.
And then the twins become they're their neighbors, so they see them throughout the series from there on too.
That's right. Yep. It stuck around. It was a high-quality show, I thought, and it was only one season, and it was awesome.
It still holds up. It's kind of campy and cheesy, but I mean that's kind of the point too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. And I'll be honest, I thought there was an Eerie, Indiana too. I didn't think they had to make that up. So,
well, they couldn't make that up, right? It's on TV. It had to be real.
That's right. Yeah, that's before the internet. You can't check that stuff. I'm not going to go to the library and look it up.
Right, exactly. I'm just going to believe what the TV tells me.
That's right.
Out the traffic because we're playing the Daily 5 on the Rocker Morning Show. Testing the mental magnitude of your favorite morning monkeys on the radio. And now, your hosts for the Daily 5, Meatball and Mark Frank House.
The other one answers. Today, I'm asking the questions. Mark is answering. Mark, you got some help on the line from our good friend Lee. Good morning, Lee.
Good morning.
All right, Lee, you got to help me get as many questions correct as possible since we're dealing with an off week here. So, we got to try to get that point for the day.
All right. So ready to roll, fellas?
Yepper.
Question number 1. This has to do with food. What was the original flavor of a Twinkies filling? Was it strawberry, coconut, or banana?
The original filling for the Twinkie.
Yep.
Man.
We really got to talk about food first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what we do.
Strawberry, coconut, or banana.
Correct.
I'm going to say banana.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling banana too, man. Yeah, if you're cool with it, Lee, let's ride with banana. Final answer.
Riding with banana. Final answer. That is correct.
All right. That sounds really tasty.
It sounds gross to me. Think banana taste?
Yes. Some people hate it. Some people love it. But, man, those banana runs.
No, you can have all of mine.
Thank you.
Question number 2. This has to do with sports. Joel Youngblood was a major league player in the MLB in the 70s and the 80s. He did something that nobody has ever done since. What was it? Did he record hits with 2 different teams in 2 different cities on the same day, play for 4 teams in 1 year, or play every position on the field during a season?
Okay, so his name was Joel Youngblood.
Correct.
And he was a baseball player.
Yep, 70s and 80s.
70s and 80s. And it was either get 2 hits for 2 teams in the same day.
Correct.
Okay.
Also played for 4 teams in 1 year, or played every position on the field in 1 year.
My brother played.
Last one.
And now is this
that makes more sense?
What's that?
Playing every position.
Playing every position.
Yeah, my brother did that for the Kalamazoo Kings in his last game. Man, although trading, I don't know, maybe he got traded a lot. I don't know.
Suck that bad?
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
He actually had a pretty long career. I believe he was an all-star at one time.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck.
I could see someone doing something like that, like trading positions. I also feel like maybe he got traded around a lot, but I don't know, Lee. I'll leave it up to you. What do you think? What's your gut?
I'm still going with the last one.
Hey, you know what? I'm not gonna try to talk you out of it. We'll go played every position, final answer.
Played every position, final answer. Over his career, he played every position but pitcher. He actually recorded hits with 2 different teams in 2 different cities in the same day.
That's funny.
Started the morning with the Mets in Chicago against the Cubs, so he's playing for the White Sox. Finished that, actually didn't even finish the game, got traded mid-game to the Expos, flew to Philadelphia, and got a hit there as well.
That recently just happened in MLB.
Not on the same day.
Yeah.
Same game, not the same day.
Right now, you guys are like 2 seagulls fighting over a
Yeah.
Leave it to lead if we keep us in check. We're going to look that up. I'm going to give you the deal. Okay. Strange laws. This is question number 3. On Sundays in Florida, it is still illegal for a single woman to do what? Skydive, drive a semi-truck, or go alligator hunting.
I think it's drive a semi-truck. I think it's just one of those goofy-ass Florida rules.
What do you think, Lee?
Your guess is about as good as mine.
Yeah. Okay. If that's the case, let's go.
I mean, if she's going alligator hunting and she's single, well.
Maybe that's why she's single.
Right. Yeah, I think we ride with semi-trucks, Lee. I feel confident on that one.
All right, I'll swing with it.
All right, semi-trucks, final answer.
Semi-truck driver, final answer. No, it is skydiving.
Wow.
You cannot skydive as a single woman on Sundays in Florida. Well, they say you can't.
Freaking Florida.
All right, question number 4. Got to get this one right. General knowledge. What does the Energizer Bunny wear on his feet? Are they pink tennis shoes, pink flip-flops, or nothing? He's barefoot.
It's funny because I almost asked Meatball this question.
No, really?
And I was like, I wonder if Meatball knows, like, pays that much attention to the flip-flops on the bunny's foot. So, yeah, they're flip-flops. I almost asked you that question.
Well, let's see what Lee thinks. Lee, what do you think?
Could be the flip-flops.
Are you sure about that?
Really?
Yeah, it's the flip-flops. All right. All right.
Thought he was going to get us.
Question number 5. This has to do with history, and it's only got 2 answers to choose from.
Oh my gosh.
True.
What was missing? This is what did you say, Lee?
True.
You said 1 or 2 questions. True or false?
Is that your final answer, Lee?
Hell no.
All right, question number 5. This is history. What was missing off of a standard clock prior to 1577? Was it minute hands or numbers?
Minute hands or numbers?
Missing off of the standard clock prior to 1577.
Oh, this is going to be funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's a trick question. Meatball's trying to get us.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I do.
Honestly, I'm almost wanting to say it's going to be numbers, but...
Yeah, something tells me Meatball's effing with us big time right now.
He probably is.
I actually had to eliminate one answer because it would have been too obvious which one it was had I given you the third one.
So both of them are wrong.
No, one of these is right.
Before 1958?
No. 1577.
1577.
Very old. Yes.
I'm going to go with no hands.
Yeah. No minute hands.
I mean, like a sundial.
Yeah, exactly. No minute hands, final answer.
No minute hands, final answer. Congratulations.
Wow.
You got the points.
Jeez, Louise with these freaking questions.
They weren't sundials, but yeah, they just didn't, time wasn't so exact yet that they needed minute hands.
I know, but that was the only way that you could actually refer it to, really.
Right, exactly.
Well, they just had dashes for anyway, all right, you guys get the point.
All right, we got the point today. We only got 3 right, so we still got some work to do for the week. But Lee, congratulations. You got that NSRA Street Rods National North tickets. Congrats, bro. It's going to be a fun show.
Zoom, 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 and a boom, boom, boom.
Just shake your room.
Lee, it's always a pleasure when you're on, man. We love it. 1077 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
I don't know if you've heard this discussion before. This is the first time I've ever heard anybody bring it up, and I wonder if it was just somebody getting roasted on the internet. I saw an interesting question on the Rocker app this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't there a bridge across Lake Michigan?
That'd be a bit of an undertaking to get it all the way across there.
Yeah. Like we know why we don't have one across the other lakes because they're huge.
Right.
Also, they go into Canada. But like if you're talking domestically, like, trying to get from South Haven to Chicago or get to like Milwaukee or something like that, or Green Bay or whatever, like a bridge would be handy. Right. And I want to say that unfortunately the person who asked this question just got mercilessly roasted on the internet, for the reason they asked. The obvious reason for why this doesn't happen is because it's like impossible.
Yeah.
For context, have you driven across the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway in Louisiana? Have you been down there? Okay. The longest bridge over a lake in the United States is the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway in Louisiana.
Uh-huh.
It is 23.79 miles long, so almost 24 miles.
Wow.
You can't see land from either end of it or even in the middle. So when you're in the middle of the bridge,
you're not seeing anything. That's out there.
Yeah, you're basically 12 miles from land at that point. You can't see it in any direction. So you look like you're in the middle of the water.
Right.
I have flown over it, never driven it, but even then it looked horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
There are also two massive differences in Lake Michigan and Lake Pontchartrain.
Yeah.
One is that at its narrowest point, Lake Michigan is 91 miles wide. Lake Pontchartrain is 24 miles.
Yeah.
So the Pontchartrain Bridge wouldn't even reach like a quarter of the way across most of Lake Michigan. There's also the depth. Lake Pontchartrain is at its deepest 15 feet.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
The average depth of Lake Michigan is 279 feet. At its deepest, over 900 feet.
It's just not going to happen.
Not possible. And then people are like, oh, but what about like those floating bridges? I've seen those before. Have you been to Lake Michigan when those big waves are like, there's marine warnings of like 8-foot waves. I'm not driving on that.
No.
Are you kidding me?
I've driven across a 7-mile bridge in Florida.
Yeah.
And that's like, again, a huge difference because you're talking about a very shallow, a very shallow part of the ocean.
Right. And you can see land even.
Oh, yeah. Basically, the entire time you're seeing land one way or the other.
Yeah.
At no point in the 7-mile bridge does land disappear.
Right. If it were even possible to do this, like, can you imagine that drive across Lake Michigan? It would take you more than an hour to cross the bridge. I
mean, it'd be nice if you had like multiple bridges across the lake, but you would legitimately have to be at the whim of the lake because if you planned on using it, say you planned on using it, so you're planning your trip, you're going to the UP and you want to take that bridge and cut down some time.
Yeah.
Well, what if the weather is crappy? They would have to monitor it on a day-to-day basis. So it's a massive undertaking. It's not just a boom, make bridge cross Michigan. It's like there would be so much they would need to do. It's just literally impossible.
You would be talking to like, maybe closer to land, like it's not so bad, but like, 40 miles out,
right?
There's 12-foot waves crashing over the top of this bridge.
No.
Over 500 feet of water.
Yeah.
Not driving my car across that.
Yeah, you'd be pretty screwed.
I did see someone say, though, that there's a possibility that they wouldn't have to build a full bridge all the way across the lake. Like they could get away from that. They could just build like 4 or 5 bridges partway across and then connect them with a roundabout in the middle of the lake.
Yes.
I mean, it is Lake Michigan.
Great idea.
It is Lake Michigan, so I guess that would be pure Michigan, pure Lake Michigan.
Pure Lake Michigan.
1077 RKR, it is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
So we've seen some pretty cool real estate places that have been up for sale before. School buildings, factories, just odd places that people have turned into homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about an entire college campus? There is a school called Notre Dame College. It is not that Notre Dame. Notre Dame College in South Euclid, Ohio, which is a suburb of Cleveland, has closed. They closed after this past spring semester, and they are selling the entire campus.
Wow.
How cool would that be to like have your own college campus?
Yeah, that'd be pretty wild.
Because I mean, I spent 6 years in college, and it was like honestly some of the best time of my life. You know,
yeah,
minus a year and a half or so where I don't remember so well. But I'm like, can you imagine buying a college? And I'm okay. Let me go down what comes with this, because it's not just like, you know, community college that has like, you know, 5 or 6 buildings or whatever, and that's it. This legit has 14 buildings on 50 acres that you can buy. 5 dormitory buildings, a building that is a former high school that is turned into kind of like their main campus building.
Yeah.
A library, cafe, classroom and office properties, various athletic facilities, and a 25-yard pool. Now, I need to specify on the athletic facilities, we're not just talking like an open field. Full football stadium, baseball, softball field, soccer field, rugby field.
Man.
Like major college sports. At one time, apparently, this college had one of the premier rugby programs in the country.
Yeah. Dang, man.
And you can
just own the whole thing.
You can own the whole thing. How cool would that be, man?
That is pretty dope. I'll be honest with you.
Like, I would immediately call all of my old college buddies and be like, bro, you're not going to believe this. We can live in college forever. I just need $29.99995 million.
Yeah.
Make
it happen.
$30 million for an entire college campus, though.
That is not bad.
And they just closed down, so it's not like it's been decrepit and you know, left abandoned or anything like that. Like, all the desks, a lot of the school technology and stuff is all still there. Like,
oh yeah, you could sell some of that stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. You know, make a ton of that money back. And then on top of that, like, there is one stipulation. The city would prefer that it stay a higher education facility.
Oh, of course.
So they would still like you to, like, have people there learning stuff. So my thought is, you do like the movie Accepted. You create a curriculum, but it's like, you know, courses like Faking It 101, you know, Bartending 201, skateboarding, build a half pipe on there, you know. You could have a course on fireworks and in that big open field, like have a fireworks display every night. How awesome would that be?
That is sick.
What is Learning 101? That would be one of my favorite courses. And then, you know, I could probably teach this one, the history of beer.
Oh, yeah. History of beer. Easily.
Yeah. So you got athletics there with skateboarding. You got history with history of beer. You have what is learning. That could be like theology and psychology. Like there's plenty of stuff in there that's great for higher education. How would this community not feel great about that, you know?
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Do it to it, Meatball.
All right. Somebody let me borrow $29,999,950. I could front the rest. I just need a small loan, you know.
Ready, go. They happen?
The phones are, nobody's calling.
Nobody's calling.
I'm
sorry. Your dream's dead, Meatball.
What if we did like 2 people with half that? Is that? No, it's still.
107.7 RKR. It's a Rocker Morning Show with Mark Frankhouse.
And Meatball.
Doing 2 for Tuesday there, so we had to get some Paul McCartney action. Well, I'll be honest with you, Meatball. I watched the U of M game over the weekend, and
who do they play?
Rutgers, God, I
can't even remember the name of the team.
Not Rutgers, Fresno State.
Okay, yeah, the Bulldogs, baby. Not good.
This is going to be a rough year for you.
They won though, right?
They won like 30-10, but
okay,
bro, like years ago that would have been like 56-0.
Yeah, but you got to consider, too, they just got that brand new locker room with the bowling alleys and the barber shops and all that. I mean, they're a little distracted, going into the start of the season.
True.
Shake the dust off,
That's why we want to keep our focus on positive things when it comes to U of M.
Yeah.
And that is the national champions, because they are the defending national champions. And we've talked about this before, the National Bobblehead Hall of Fame and Museum. They've done some cool stuff. They were the ones who put out the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League bobbleheads with the Kalamazoo Lassies.
We got a couple of those in the studio. They're very cool.
Yeah, they also did the Oakland University to celebrate their run in the playoffs. They did the head coach Craig Campy.
Yeah.
So they did that bobblehead. Now they've just announced the official 2023 National Champions U of M bobblehead. So this is pretty rad.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, this is pretty badass. We actually have these photos up here on the 107.7 RKR app. If you're a U of M fan, you'll probably want these for a display piece, because honestly, they look really cool. I like bobbleheads. I think they're funny. But you can also check out, see what they did for the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League ones as well, because we got those pictures up there.
The national championship ones are nice because it's like you get the shield or whatever, and then you have a couple players there too. Is it J.J. McCarthy and does it say who the other player is?
It does not. No,
okay.
I think it just or
it's not them specifically.
Yeah. Okay. It's just got 23 because that was the year that the season started.
Yeah.
But yeah, the national champions. It's actually that's on a spring, so it's actually pretty rad.
Yeah.
If you want to get a look at these and find out when they're going to be available, how you can buy them, all the deals up here at 107.7 RKR app.
I can't believe they didn't do one with just Jim Harbaugh. Because, wouldn't he the prodigal son come home to get the championship? And then
that would probably cost them to get the
yeah,
I mean, they could probably make him on there, but since he's no longer affiliated with U of M, I imagine that wasn't going to be happening.
I feel like, though, if you really want to pay homage to the real story of the 2023 championship, you would have to get a Connor Stallions bobblehead. Him standing over the Ohio State Stadium with a pair of binoculars.
Oh, my God.
Taking notes.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have been cheating. All right.
To commemorate sign stealing, here's a bobblehead of binoculars.
I mean,
why not? If you're an OU fan.
2 for Tuesday, a couple from Red Hot Chili Peppers there, 107.7 RKR. It is the Rocker Morning Show with Meatball.
And Mark Frankhouse.
Let's do a quick recap from Labor Day weekend in college football because we can, and we can talk football again because it's being played again. Starting with last night, Florida State loses again to an unranked team. Boston College wins that one 28-13. Would not surprise me to see the Noles drop down into the 20s in rankings, if not completely out of the rankings, out of the top 25 after that one. Because that's two unranked teams they've lost to now.
That is not good. And you were telling me about this too. It's they've lost so many players.
Yeah. Well, because you got to remember the end of last season was, they were one of the top 4 teams had their quarterback not been injured. But the rest of the team was really good. Then the NCAA or whoever, the committee that chose the 4 teams that went into the playoff said, well, no, their quarterback's injured, so they're not going to be playing very well. We're not going to put them in there. Mm-hmm. Also, they're not in one of those major big conferences because they're in the ACC. So it was just if I'm a player on Florida State and I'm okay, my quarterback gets hurt. We still gut it out and win these games the rest of the season. And you're going to be well, you're not in one of the conferences like the Big 10, the Big 12, the SEC. Come on.
That's BS.
So all these players are well, if you're not going to give me a chance just because I chose this school, I'm going to an SEC or a Big 10 school.
Yeah,
and a lot of them did it.
That and I've, for the longest time, I've always said I don't care who it is. I don't care what conference they're in. If you're undefeated during the season, you should have a chance to play for the national championship.
Yes, and the 12-team playoff is going to help that a lot.
Yeah,
this year, but
it's just I don't know. It's just really annoying. That really bugs me.
You finish at the top of a Power 5 conference. You win your conference championship without your starting quarterback, and you've got a great team behind you, and you're still not going to get allowed in. They at least deserved the chance to be there. Mm-hmm. Not to say that, they put Alabama in there, and Alabama obviously played well, but, What was Alabama had 2 losses, right?
I think they did have 2 losses last year.
So it just didn't make sense to me they weren't in. But regardless, Florida State not looking so great right now, which sucks. The other games that were going on, several big teams playing over the weekend, stomping all over their week 1 opponents. You were saying how you're not a fan of how Michigan played against Fresno State. They still won 30-10.
Yeah, but they just... Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's new coaching staff. They've got all the other stuff looming over them. Like they'll shake it off. They'll get there. They'll be fine. Number 1, Georgia embarrassing number 14 Clemson, 34-13. Number 8, Penn State over West Virginia, 34-12. Unranked Ole Miss defeating Furman College by the largest margin of the weekend, 76-0.
Jeez.
Poor Furman College. I think you just have to quit playing football at that point.
Yeah, just put it down and maybe pick up checkers or something.
There were some close games and some upsets, though. First, Lee Corso, the only one on College game day to pick the Irish, Notre Dame over Texas A&M. Even though Notre Dame was ranked number 7, I believe A&M was number 20. They win 23-13. The Irish won, which is great. Number 23, USC upsetting number 13, LSU. This was Sunday night, 27-20. They did that in the swamp against LSU. Western Michigan nearly playing spoiler against Wisconsin, hanging with them at Camp Randall for most of the game, but the Badgers pull away in the fourth quarter. They win 28-14. Broncos, though, looked pretty good in that game. Mm-hmm. However, they're going on to play Ohio State in the Horseshoe this Saturday.
Oh, my gosh.
That's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, that's not going to be good.
I say that, I'm all in on the Broncos. Trust me. Like, go Broncos, but oofda. College football back. Great. Awesome. We get pro football back next weekend. The biggest sporting event, though, of this weekend. Yesterday, Joey Chestnut beating Takeru Kobayashi, setting a world record, 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Kobayashi only got 63 down. Joey Chestnut ate 83 hot dogs in 10 minutes.
I watched this live.
Did you really?
Yes.
I didn't watch it.
I watched it on Netflix. How? I don't know how they did it, man. I mean, he's sweating by the end of it, and I couldn't tell if it was just the water or the sweat, but it was like, what?
I mean, it's probably the meat. It's probably the meat sweats because the dude just ate 83 hot dogs.
Yes. Man, that was intense.
I can't watch it. It's too disgusting.
Yeah, it was gross. I was like, you know what? I think a salad will do tonight. Salad and soup.
Mark's like got all these big Labor Day plans, smoking up a brisket or whatever. Watch that, and she's like, no,
I've lost my appetite.
I think I'm a vegetarian now.